Well, I came back down to earth in week 16. I'll explain. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? My name is Ben Cornett, and welcome to Ben's Quick Picks. This is week 17 edition, and man, we are getting down to it. We're getting down to the last 2 weeks of the regular season. But first off, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. And also, just want to wish everybody, a happy holidays. I wanted to see how everyone's holidays went, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope everybody enjoyed their holidays. But now we're getting into the NFL holidays season, which is the final 2 games of the regular season, 2 weeks of the regular season, I should say, and the postseason. So with that being said, I said before the video started that I came back down to earth, and I did with my picks last week. So let me show you my week 16 picks, or my week 16 record, and my overall record for the season thus far. And as you can see, I went 9-7. We had some upsets. Raiders upset the Chiefs. That was a big upset. The Ravens, huge win over the Niners last week. So, yeah, but it is what it is. I'm 160-80 overall in the season. Can't complain. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you my week 17 picks. Now, what I do with that, for those who have, this is their first time watching, I show you which games I picked to win, all 16 games. These are straight up picks, and it'll have a check mark by the team who I think will win. So, with that being said, let's take a look at my week 17 picks, and as soon as we're done looking at those, I will give you my explanation for those picks. So check it out. Alrighty then, those are my week 17 picks. Tell me what you think in the comment section. You like them or dislike them. It's your opinion. So, with that being said, let me explain my week 17 picks. So here we go. The Thursday night game, we got the New York Jets going up to the Cleveland Browns. And man, this is quite a game. As you know, last week, Cleveland went into Houston, beat them pretty well. The Jets, meanwhile, had quite a game with the Commanders, won on a game-winning field goal by Greg Zuerlein. These teams, believe it or not, are very similar. Both teams have had that quarterback carousel, with the Jets, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. And same with the Browns. They had Deshaun Watson, they had PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, now Joe Flacco, and they both have very good defenses. So this is an interesting game here, but I am going to go with the better team, and that is the Cleveland Browns at home to beat the New York Jets. It's going to be a kind of a low-scoring game, I expect. So give me the Browns over the Jets, 20-13. Now, we got a rare Saturday night game. There is no Monday night game this week because of the college football playoffs. So the ABC ESPN crew, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, will have their Monday night game on Saturday night, and it's a very good one. It's the Detroit Lions going up against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. As you know, last week, the Detroit Lions won the NFC North Division, their first division title since 1990. Congratulations to them. They well-deserved. Dan Campbell's turned that organization around in a few years. So congratulations to them. And meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys, tough loss down in Miami last week, 22-20 on a game-winning field goal by Miami. But this is a great game. This has got a lot of playoff implications as far as seeding goes. Both teams are in the playoffs. Now it comes down to seeding. And this is tough. I've gone back and forth with this one. I'm going to go with Dallas at home here. And the reason why is they do play well at home. Detroit did wrap up the division, but, they do struggle on the road a little bit. So with that being said, I am going to go Dallas in a very close game here. Dallas definitely needs this win to try and stay afloat with the top seed in the NFC. So give me the Cowboys over the Lions, 31-28. Should be a very fun and exciting game. All right, now to the Sunday games. We got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills now. New England came off a very surprising win over Denver on Christmas Eve. And the Bills, meanwhile, looked good last Saturday against the Chargers in a close game, maybe closer than people think. Pulled out a win there. Now they're at home playing New England, AFC East matchup. I am going to go with the Bills here. Listen, Patriots had that great win down in Denver. It actually it was one of the reasons why Russell Wilson eventually got benched for the rest of the year, and I'll explain later. But they're going up against Buffalo, who's red hot right now, and I don't expect anything different. This might be a closer game than people think, but I like the Bills in this game, 24-17 over the Patriots. The New Orleans Saints take on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is an NFC South rivalry. It's been that way for several years now. By the way, I hate the Saints, just saying. But I got to be impartial here, not partial. Excuse me. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, meanwhile, huge win last week over Jacksonville. They're now 8-7. And this week, they can clinch the NFC South division title for the third year in a row. And this is a big game. The Saints, until recently have had our number, but we already beat them earlier in the year. We, I believe, swept them last year. So this is a huge game for us. The Saints are going to be ready to play. They do have Derek Carr at quarterback, which I'm not a big fan of. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield, is definitely playing like comeback player of the year type of football. Again, I got to be impartial, but I do think the Buccaneers are the better team, and they're going to beat the New Orleans Saints 27-20, and they will clinch the NFC South division title for the third year in a row. So give me the Bucs over the Saints, 27-20. All right, the Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. Speaking of NFC South, Falcons, big win last week over Indy. Chicago had a big win over Arizona last week as well. It's in Chicago, cold weather. The Falcons, I've never been impressed with them. Taylor Heineke is starting for Desmond Ridder. Meanwhile, Justin Fields playing better and better. Maybe starting to change my mind a little bit, but that remains to be seen. But the Bears defense has been really good. So with that being said, it's in Chicago. And again, I don't trust Atlanta. So give me the Bears over the Falcons, 20-16 over the Falcons. Bears over Falcons. All right, the Tennessee Titans visit the Houston Texans, AFC South matchup. Texans, they've had a tough time of it the last couple weeks without C.J. Stroud, but I've been reading lately that Stroud has returned to practice for the Texans. Assuming he plays, that's a good sign for Houston, as they're very much still alive in the AFC South. Try to win the division, get to the playoffs in DeMeco Ryans' first year as head coach. The Titans, they're eliminated from playoff contention. Tough loss to Seattle last week. Now they got, Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. Levis is not playing, so they still have Derrick Henry. It's still a division game. I'm going to go with the Texans, assuming C.J. Stroud plays. I'm going with Houston over Tennessee, 23-20. All right, the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars, the battle of the Kitties. Panthers lost to the Packers last week. Jaguars lost to my Buccaneers. Trevor Lawrence, we don't know if he's going to play yet or not. So I don't know. Carolina, but I don't think it matters at this point. I think Jacksonville beats Carolina in this game. Jacksonville bounce back win over Carolina, 24-10. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Raiders, huge win over the Chiefs on Christmas Day in KC. Made Travis Kelce throw his helmet. A lot of problems with KC right now. We'll get to them in a little bit. But as for the Colts, tough loss in Atlanta. I thought they would beat the Falcons, but they didn't. But Raiders are mathematically still in the playoff picture, same as the Colts. This is going to be an interesting game. You know my thing with the Raiders. I seem to never get it right with them. If I pick them to win, they lose. If I pick them to lose, they win. The Colts, meanwhile, they're getting a little healthier. Michael Pittman Jr. is starting to come back. He's practicing. That's a good sign. They need that weapon for Gardner Minshew. I am going to go the Colts here at home. The Raiders, huge win in KC. It's a short week. They're going to be on that high. But I'm going to go with the Colts. Hopefully I'm right on this one. Colts 26, Raiders 20. All right, probably one of the best games of the week, if not the best game of the week. The Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Miami, huge win over Dallas on Sunday with the game-winning field goal. Meanwhile, the Ravens, big statement win over the Niners in San Francisco Christmas night. And you can probably pretty much say the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now. Especially with that win at San Francisco. Huge. Again, that could be a Super Bowl preview right there. Miami, one of the knocks on them this year was trying to beat a team over 500, and they actually did that by beating Dallas. In Baltimore, again, huge win over the Niners. This is in Baltimore. Now, I thought about this one back and forth. Maybe Miami can do this. They beat Dallas, got a little confident now, beating teams over 500. But I'm still going to stick with the Ravens. I think they're the better team, especially defensively. They can hold this Miami defense down a little bit. But it's going to be a fun game. I got Baltimore 30, Miami 27. Should be a fun game, though. All right. Excuse me. Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going Eagles. They barely beat the Giants. I get it. They're struggling, but they need a bounce back win. Kyler Murray, listen, he's a good player. He's keeping the Cardinals in games, but 2 weeks in a row on the road, it's going to be tough against a good team, against a better opponent. I'm going Eagles 27, Cardinals 17. All right, the LA Rams at the New York Giants. This one I could see as a trap game. The Giants almost had Philly last week on Christmas. In fact, Tommy DeVito has been benched. Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback going forward. A lot of question marks with that. The Rams, continue to be on a roll. They're playing their best football right now. And, huge win last week. Now you got to go on the road, take on the Giants, cross country. Again, this could scream trap game. But I do like the Rams over the Giants in this game. I think they're the better team. So, give me the Rams over the Giants, 24-20. Should be a close game, though. All right, the San Francisco 49ers at the Washington Commanders. Niners are pissed. They got embarrassed by Baltimore last week at home, Christmas night. Commanders, tough loss to the New York Jets. And it's not going to get any easier for him. So, especially when you got Chase Young returning to Washington to play his old team. Yeah, give me the 49ers over the Commanders, 30-10. All right, the afternoon games. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Seattle Seahawks. Props to the Steelers for beating the Cincinnati Bengals last Saturday. Seattle, props to them getting a huge win down in Tennessee. Geno Smith is back for the Seahawks. Then you got Mason Rudolph for the Steelers. Interesting game. And again, this is another one I was going back and forth with. The Steelers got some confidence now. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He wants to keep it that way. They're 8-7, but they're in Seattle. Seattle's a very tough place to play. And Seattle's starting to get a little hot at the right time. So is Pittsburgh. But I'm going to go with Seattle at home. This is just merely just because Seattle's at home. Seahawks over the Steelers, 28-17. to 24. All right, the LA Chargers visit the Denver Broncos, and as we're talking right now, the Denver Broncos are officially benching Russell Wilson, and Jared Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback for the Broncos. Chargers, meanwhile, tough season for them. Close game against Buffalo, almost had it, just wasn't good enough. So now that we have the benching of Russell Wilson, there is more to it than just the loss to New England. There's a financial issue with it. You know, Broncos doesn't have to pay his bonus. So it's looking very grim for Mr. Wilson as far as his future in Denver. You know, time will tell. But in this game, I am going to go actually the Chargers over the Broncos. I just think it's a tough spot for Jared Stidham to be in. You know, their Chargers are playing hard for their new coach, Jeff Smith, I think his name is. So I'm going to go Chargers here over Denver, 20-14 over the Broncos. And we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams coming off some tough losses. Bengals losing to the Steelers, and also KC losing to the Raiders. Both games were division games last week, so understandable, but KC is just not playing well right now. They're just not. And who knows, you know, frustration setting in with Mahomes, with Kelsey, Pacheco. He got hurt. I'm told that he's been limited in practice, so we don't know what's going on with him. Meanwhile, the Bengals, you know, it's tough. It's been tough without Jamar Chase and also without Joe Burrow. Jake Browning's done as good a job as you can as a backup. But in this game, I do think the Chiefs bounce back. Again, this is probably going to be an ugly game. But, you know, we expected a huge game. We expected Burrow versus Mahomes, classic quarterback matchup earlier in the season when this game was scheduled. But with that being said, I'm still going to go with the Chiefs at home over the Bengals. This is kind of their get-right game, although I could still see the Chiefs struggling here. But they're going to win this game 22-17. Chiefs over the Bengals. And finally, the Sunday night game, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings NFC North matchup. Minnesota is all but out of it, you know, with that loss to Detroit last week. Same with Green Bay. Even though they beat Carolina, both teams are 7-8. And whoever wins this game is mathematically still in it. Whoever loses is pretty much out of it. You know, Minnesota does play pretty good at home. Meanwhile, Green Bay, they tend to struggle on the road. But I am going to go with the Packers here. I think they're the better team. You know, Jordan Love, better quarterback than Nick Mullins. I know they got Minnesota has the best offensive player out of both teams in Justin Jefferson. But I just think Green Bay is just a little bit better offensively, and they're going to find a way to win this game. So give me Green Bay over Minnesota. We'll go 24-20. Close game, but I like Green Bay in this game. And there you have it. Those are my explanation for my Week 17 picks this week. So I'm going to let you see one more time who I picked to win all these games this week. So give it a good look and tell me what you think. And there it is, right there in my Week 17 picks. And like I said, you know, give me a like, follow, and share, please. That would greatly appreciate that. Ben Cornett 9015 here on YouTube. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Ben's Quick Picks, Week 17 edition. Let's see how I do this week. And like I said, good luck to everyone out there, whoever's teams you root for. Best of luck to you, except for the Saints. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so good luck to everybody this weekend. And let's enjoy this NFL weekend as we get down to it, to the last couple weeks of the regular season. So with that being said, I will see you next week right here on Ben's Quick Picks. Take care, everybody.